The thing about being a trained fighter, you have that confidence because you know what you can do, you know. And I think like when when you're younger, you would scrap with anybody, right?
Yeah,
but there's a difference when a trained fighter puts their hands on you. So when I started kickboxing, and in my mind, I'm like, I'm fucking tight.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
How many weeks in you've been doing?
I'm talking about when I thought I was tight.
Yeah,
that was day one.
He said, "How many weeks?"
After the first round, he's like, "This shit is too easy."
And then I remember
all I needed was some mitts.
There's this video that I recorded of myself and I put it up. And I remember right before I posted it up, I'm like, yo, why is this shit in slow motion though? Like, I'm way faster than this.
Yeah.
But it puts in perspective how cocky people are about their skills, specifically when it comes to fighting, right?
Oh, fighting probably the worst.
Well, because you gotta have confidence.
Yeah, and I also found out too when I started training more often, there's people who have trained long, but there are also people who have trained long and they suck.
Yes.
I didn't know this, right? So a lot of people would talk big, and I'm sitting here just absorbing all these stories. But the thing about fighting that I found out too, which is awesome, is because it's such an honest sport. You could talk as much as you want. When you're on that mat, it doesn't fucking matter.
It's the same as stand-up. Like you're like, oh, he sucks, or this. Like, is the crowd laughing? Like, there's no. It's very black and white.
Yeah,
very black.
It's super honest.
So is sports, and fighting has this weird because everyone's been in a fight, so everyone thinks they can do it.
Yeah,
but you don't hear anybody like none of your boys like, dude, I would fuck LeBron up, man. You like no one talks like
no
that.
one says
like,
it right.
Man, I would cross Kyrie up so fucking bad. No one ever says that ever. But fighting. People, I hear it all the time. Dog, if I just get in there with Floyd, man, one fucking shot.
That's all I need is one.
Bro, you ain't gonna do shit. And it's, I think for me, because I was training for like 6 years, I was in the UFC, and they brought in the Denver Broncos wanted to train with me and Shane Carwin, who was the heavyweight champion at the time, and I was like ranked like number 11 or 10 in the world. So the Broncos came in. You're talking diesel D linemen, linebackers. And you heard them before, like, man, these guys ain't shit. They might know the technique, but I'll fucking toss them. I'm like,
really?
Like, these guys have no fucking clue. We get in there, and they got rolled up so fucking fast.
They don't have that.
And they were just like, oh my God. And I'm like, and you guys are at this level. Think of average Joe. They think they can do the same shit. And you guys are the 0.01% of the population. And you think like this. Like, we had no idea. I'm like, yeah, bitch.
The fight IQ part is crazy, right? The part where you have to be very repetitious in drills and sparring, and then your fight IQ goes up without you even noticing it. I think like the hard part about kickboxing for me was there's no belt system, so you don't know until you get hit in the face about how great you are. Like your fight IQ just starts to level up as you continue to do this repetitiously. And so, like I remember when I first sparred, like I didn't realize that I flinch a lot. That's the first thing that people do. Like you just when you punch,
it's natural. It's natural.
One of these, right?
It's natural.
And I just couldn't. It was frustrating because I couldn't figure out how not to do it, and it was just to get punched in the face more.
Yeah,
and then
it's the only way you get used to it. You just
it's like, oh, you didn't die.
Yeah,
and so you start to get over it here and there, you know. And I actually remember when me and my buddy Adam were watching a specific UFC fight, and I fucking hated you. You know why?
Why?
You knocked out my hero,
Crow Cop.
Yep.
But here's my thing with that. He was my hero.
I hated myself.
Dude, I apologized to him in the back.
Really?
Oh yeah. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. And he's still my favorite fighter of all time. He's the reason why I got out of the sport. Because me and him went at it, dude, and he broke my nose, and then I knocked him out.
It was a good fight.
It was a great fight, and I got a knockout bonus. And then I'm looking at him. He's this fucking walking legend, dude. Legend. And he's so fucked up. And he like doesn't know where he's at. And he has this weird fanny pack on. I'm all fucked up. And I just look at him. I go, dude, there has to be more to life than this, man. Like, what are we doing? I was like, I love you, man. I just fucking starched you out there. And this is for money? I'm like, this is stupid. And he just looks at me with his broken English, goes, this is life. And I was like, it's not though, dude. This ain't for me. That's when I was like, this isn't for me.
Oh, you thought about that early on, and you still continue to fight
as soon as that fight ended, I looked at my team and I'm like, I don't want to do this, man.
Do you think that fight was the reason why like your fight record got a little splotchy because you didn't feel it right here? Because I don't think, I mean, in my personal opinion, right? Anybody that's a heavyweight and like you were top 10. If you're a top 10 heavyweight fighter, in my personal opinion, just from I've seen UFC since I was a kid, I feel like top 10 everybody has it. It's a mentality point at that.
You're 100% correct.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing that with me, I was almost like a cheat code in a video game where I didn't have the experience or the skills, but I was playing at the hardest level. So I got by my athleticism, but I have the experience. So I got to a certain level. Even that Crow Cop fight was a war, man.
Yeah.
Where realistically, I probably should have taken him out earlier than that. But it was a war because he's a fucking savvy vet. He's seen a big athletic kid. So then you get, so I beat Gonzaga before him. I started in 3 rounds.
And then Gonzaga fucking starts.
Yeah, I beat the fuck out of Gonzaga. So he's ranked like 11. So I starched Gonzaga, put on a boxing clinic. I'm like, oh shit, that's cool. Then I get Crow Cop. I'm like, holy fuck, my hero. Starch him. And then again, it's this cheat code where I got thrown to the main event right away, and I was at a main event experience. And then I started fighting Nogueiras and Rothwells and these monsters who were like, oh, big athletic kid with a heavy right hand. Cool. We've seen this before. And then I just wasn't ready for the moment. So then it was, and then also my heart's not fully into it. And I feel bad. Like my number one thing with my coaches, I was talking with my coach the other day about this. He's like, man, if you just had a mean streak, you'd have been world champion. He was like, you're always too nice to everybody. You're always too nice, man. In the gym, you're too nice. I was like, I don't want to hurt people, dude. It's not worth it to me. Like, I'd rather do other shit, man.
I was the same way.
That's so
You
interesting.
were the same way?
Hmm.
Explain yourself, please. Is that where it stops? I was the same way. But hey, dim the lights, Chin.
Started
But it's like even then when I fought Matt Mitrione, which was a huge fight for me, and he went on to do great things. I submitted him in the first round, first anaconda choke ever by a heavyweight, first round anaconda choke. He was my friend, man. I cared about Matt. So like he was like, oh, let's talk shit to each other, and I'm like, I don't want to do this, dude. I care about you. And he's like, oh, this is what we got to do. I'm like, this sucks, dude. Because we're elephants in a circus.
Because I never understood, like even now from an outside perspective, where people will go to war. They'll literally bash your fucking face in, and then they're hugging after. I'm like, don't touch me. You try to kill me.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, but it's kind of like with comics. Like if you're a touring comic, like you know that road work grind. So when you see each other in an airport, even if you don't know each other, but you're familiar with each other, you bond because you've gone through the same shit. Okay. So it's like, you know, guys that serve in war together, they have this bond that's unbreakable. So like my last fight when I fought Travis Brown, he fucking hated me. I used to date his ex-girlfriend. He hated me. His team hated me. After the fight, he came to my locker room and was like, you all right, man? Because you have that weird, like, we both went through awful shit and we got it done, and you know, and then there's this weird respect.
Got it.
Yeah.
it's how would you like handle, like, for example, right? Because I follow you. You have some of the most worst comments that I've ever read in my life for a very successful platform, right? And I always found this very odd is when people question your fight IQ, even though you've been a top 10 heavyweight, and they want to tell you how fight works, right?
Yeah, sure.
Is that annoying for you?
I don't see it, dude.
Because it annoys me. You know, it's like, how can you tell
but that's what I signed up for.
Gotcha.
Like, it's like on the platforms I'm on, the voice that I have, of course you're gonna get backlash. Like if you go to Drake, and I'm not saying I'm at their level, but if you go to Drake's comments or Kevin Hart's, LeBron's, they're getting hate, but they're not hate on me because I'm not successful. You know what I'm saying? Like if I wasn't doing shit, they wouldn't be hating.
They would
like
have
my level of success brings that, and I'm not even nowhere. The hate's only gonna get worse because I'm just getting started.
Yeah,
I'm launching Thick Boy Studios in June. Like I have so much shit going on, and even bigger announcements. Like, oh, if you guys are hating on this, geez, man. Wait till you see what I do. So it's just, I don't see any of it, dude. I look at my bank account, I make sure my family's all right, and I look at my touring ticket sales. I don't look at numbers for podcasts. I look at nothing.
That's smart.
And then I look at my bank account, see how my ads are doing. Everything good, cool, man. I don't see social media, dude. I don't see any of it. I post, I get out.
Yeah. I think that's
what
that's
good's
really
gonna
good.
like your heroes growing up didn't have social media. Like, can you imagine if Richard Pryor had social media, or if Michael Jordan did, or if Michael's doing a daily podcast? It could be a nightmare.
I'll be in this thing comments.
Be a nightmare.
It's I feel bad for kids though, you know, because
I do too,
this
man.
is the world that they grow up in. And
Yeah.
I was talking to my friend, her kid is a sophomore in high school, and she was telling me that kids now, your popularity isn't based on what you do in school, it's what you do outside of school.
Isn't that a bummer?
Really?
So
On
it's
social
based on
media.
your social media
Yeah.
following.
Are you serious?
So
And
you got
that's
them-
why I was a fan when they were going to get rid of followers,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
people can see. I'm like, oh, that's so great for the youth, but then they didn't do it.
Yeah, 'cause a lot
but
of
also
them make
back
their
to the haters, dude. I've never ever in my life, ever, out of all the hate that I get, I've never had someone doing better than me hate on me ever in my life. Isn't that weird?
That's really smart.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Never.
I never.
I've never had Bill Burr talk shit to me. Joe Rogan. No.
Let me go delete all my comments that I'm just talking shit about people. I'm like, fuck you, bitch ass motherfucking ass, bitch ass motherfucker.
But you're not gonna punch down. You know, you're not gonna be like find some random dude and talk shit to him.
It's just if you're doing something, yeah, you just
it just comes to the territory. And I tell these guys all the time, dude, social media is not real, man. It's not the real world. People have polarizing comments on there, and they're trying to get attention, so they're posting the most wild shit. I see any of those people in the street. Oh, let me get a picture, man. Let me do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing thick boy merch. Oh, it sucks. Yeah, I sell out every time, and you have it on.
Yeah, I feel like for me too, mentality wise, I started to understand that because when I was younger, everybody used to love Dane Cook, right? I hated his stand up, and what I used to say, which was false, was like, oh, he's not funny. It's like, well, if he's not funny, how the fuck is he selling out Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
So what the fuck am I saying, right? It's like he cannot be funny to me. But he's still funny, though.
Dude, Dane's a beast.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of comics, especially in my circle, who hate Dane Cook.
Really?
I came in after, and Dane's always been fucking great to me, man. So I stick up for him. He's so talented, dude. You'll hear Patrice talk about this, Bill Burr talked about this, Rogan talked about this. When they all came up in Boston, there was the fucking hub, and no one wanted to follow Dane Cook. The shit he was doing, dude, monster. Dude, I've seen him do just... There's these two basically strippers at the Comedy Store in the main room, and Dane was on, and every comic went to the back and like, those fucking girls, man, in the front, those seasoned comics. Every comic I went on, they're loud during my set. I'm like, gee, I just powered through it, ignored them. They're so loud, they're disrupting everything. And as I go off, I have to bring on Dane, and Dane goes, which ones are they? And he peeks at the ground. He goes, there's fucking two right there. He goes, cool.
Oh, shit.
Dude, he goes out there and he just starts doing his thing. They go beep, beep, and dude, for 30 minutes straight was some of the best material you've ever heard off the top of the dome. He lit them up so bad they walked out. The whole crowd stands up clapping.
Damn.
I was like,
that's fucking amazing.
Professional, dog. Professional.
I mean, you went from fighting to stand up. I mean, I don't even know how that happens. Like, how do you go from like going into
because of podcasts.
Oh,
but
okay.
I've always wanted to do stand up. And my way into it was meeting Brian Calligan and then doing a comedy podcast. So me and Brian would do live firing the kids, but it wasn't a live podcast. Sucked, dude. Brian's doing it now, but whatever. Shout out to Big and Hungry. I love you guys. But live podcasts are a disaster. But me and Brian used to do it, but it was a performance. So Brian, I'd be like, dude, I'm not doing a live podcast. I've seen those. Those are so boring. He's like, no, dude. We're going to use our fan base, and then every show we start with, you're going to do 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You're going to start every show with 10 minutes. So that's how you understand it.
That's when I met you guys.
Yep. At Stand Up Live.
Yeah, you guys were doing the live podcast.
Is there a lot of pressure? I mean, even for all you guys, like, for example, because you've been put on by Joe Rogan and a lot of these great comics, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, like I know of your work. I know what you do. I know what people say.
Yeah.
So is there a lot of pressure for you to do better than what people expect out of you, because a lot of people feel that you've been kind of put on a platform because a lot of people have pushed you up there to be at a certain place? Because I feel like that's a lot of pressure, right?
I don't feel the pressure. I feel like so Rogan, D'Elia, Brian, Theo, Joey, Santino, Bobby Lee. You can go through the entire Whitney Cummings, the entire list of these monster comics. They're not going to co-sign if I wasn't funny. I'm not going to sell every show on the road multiple times in multiple cities year after year if I wasn't funny. Yeah. So it's, again, that online chatter is not real, dude. It's not real.
It's about what happens on the stage in the crowd.
Again, ticket sales, podcast views, bank account, that's all real. I can see that in black and white. I don't care about anything else. I feel no pressure. No pressure.
You have a very strong mentality.
Why do you not feel that way?
You would have to. What else am I going to do? What am I going to do? What else would you do?
That's true.
What am I going to listen to them?
Yeah.
If they knew what they were doing, they would do it.
100%. Yeah.
Oh, whatever. Oh, his special sucks. Let me see your special.
Bam.
Oh, you don't have one? No, man. All right, you're out. If you have a special, I'll listen to you. If you're a legit comic, comic like I am, if you sell more tickets than me, I'll listen to you.
So how did you feel about the critique about your special then? Like
don't see it.
Damn, man, you got the blinders on, son. That's good.
Man, I don't see it.
You coming with the questions today.
He's saying that.
No, I love it because but as far as special, so it depends. Like probably too early to do it. Probably too, only 2 years in stand-up doing a special is crazy.
Because for me too, right? Because I became a fan of yours watching you on the podcast scene, right?
Sure.
And so when I saw you do the special, I also felt it was a little too early for you. Because
Early for sure.
yeah, because 2 years in, that's mad fast.
Yeah.
So when
But here's my question for you, and the haters to say this: what would you do if every outlet, name a show, offered you a special in a half an hour? What would you do? You gonna not do it? What are you gonna do? And
I'm a pussy, so no. Yeah, you don't know me like that, motherfucker.
You don't know me like that.
Big pussy, bro.
and then that special parlayed into every other thing I do with Showtime, which I have a
Got you.
multi-year deal with. And then
Okay.
and then
Hey, man.
yeah.
All right.
So the haters.
So it didn't hurt you. So it's like,
Hey, put
You
that dick on this table real quick right now.
So, but then also after that, like now, I have pressure. I have offers from any big company to shoot another special.
That's awesome.
So,
That's true.
what do you want me to do?
This is
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know what we do.
Damn,
Yeah.
you're a wise sage.
yeah, I mean, you kind of have to go through all that because I think it's interesting as well. Like the amount of just like fucking hate is just like it doesn't make sense because we go on the road with you and the shows are sold out and people are fucking ecstatic to like they're excited to see you.
But when you think of
know?
hate, you probably again they're the loudest in the room.
Yeah.
So it's 300 losers who are in their mom's basement. Oh, this guy ain't shit.
Watching
Oh, this guy ain't
wrestling.
shit. I bet you would trade your life with me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. If
You got IV drips, dude.
any of them, if any of them,
And then it's
yeah.
so then the critique of he's just where he's at because Rogan put him on. You know how many people Rogan's put on?
That
You know how
didn't
many
work out.
people?
Yeah.
How many? How many people has Rogan put on? I can give you a fucking plethora of fucking people, and they ain't doing
But
shit. dude.
you also had to work hard for that sellout because I remember when we had Steve-O on, he was saying it too. Like he was like, "Yeah, my name, I'm Steve-O," but he goes, "I wasn't selling out shows immediately. Like it just doesn't work that way. Like you
comedy
have to
doesn't work. Comedy doesn't work.
Yeah,
that way.
comedy doesn't work that way. Like you have to work your ass off to be a ticket seller."
How about when I get off stage at the Laugh Factory? Right away, you go, bro, I figure out what you look like. I'm like, what? This is in front of a bunch of other comics. I'm like, what? You're like, you look like a Rottweiler who got his shit together.
Oh, you do, bro. Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying, dude.
Grab that mic, son.
You do. Look, bro, look.